Hey, it's End Time Watchman. I'll give you a disclaimer and a warning right now. I'm going to be reading from the Bible just for this short video. I was reading it and found some very perplexing verses. And I'll remind you that I understand if you don't believe in biblical truths, then that is your prerogative, that is your business, that is your freedom. But I do, so therefore, let me quote this verse again. The thing which has been is that which shall be. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? And if you want to know the future, look at the past. I'm telling you, history repeats itself. It really does. Okay? So having said that, I just want to put this out there, and it'll be very interesting to some of you, and to some of you, you'll discount it, and that's fine. But I'm just going to read it and try not to expound much on it because I got a lot I got to get to today. But Lamentation chapter 4, it says, "How's the gold become dim? How's the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are even poured out in the top of every street." Now, it says the precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, are esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter. Watch, even sea monsters draw out the breast, they give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become so cruel, like ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue, hear me now, and this is the results of the siege of a city, okay? In biblical times, this is what happened, okay? And I want you to think about what I'm saying right here. And I know you're going to say in modern times this can never happen in a city in America. But I've come by to tell you, in my belief, I believe it could happen. But just listen to it. This just gives you something to think about. You know, especially those that don't want to get up no food, they don't want to do this, they don't want to, that's fine. But just listen to me. It says, "The tongue of the suckling child cleaves to the roof of its mouth for thirst. Young children ask for bread, and no man breaketh it and giveth it to them. They that feed delicately are desolate in the streets." Okay, the rich people, pardon me for a minute, but the rich people that had all those things and they eat the caviar and drink the finest wines and all, it says that they're out in the streets begging for food. I'm telling you, Lamentation 4 is what it says. And I see this coming to America. Okay? I just believe in my heart, and I see it. Okay? But let me move on for sake of time. It says, "They that feed delicately are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills." The rich, poor little rich people with the silver spoons are embracing piles of doo-doo. Okay? "For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Nazarites were purer than snow, they were whiter than milk, more ruddy in body than rubies, their polishing was of sapphire. Now their visage is blacker than coal, they are not known in the streets, their skin cleaveth to their bones, it is withered, and they become like a stick." I challenge you to find you a Bible and just read this and see what it says. I just challenge you. "They that be," watch this, "they that be slain with the sword are better than them that be slain with hunger." Let old Watchman tell you this again. "They that be slain with the sword are better than they that die from hunger." Okay? "These pine away stricken for wants of the fruits of the field." Those that don't put their food up, that don't prepare for what's coming, they pine away, stricken for wants of the fruits of the field, which represents food. Just hear, old boy, hit old boy. "The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people." Now God has accomplished his fury, he has poured out his fierce anger on Zion, and hath devoured the foundations thereof. "The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered even into the gates of Jerusalem at that time." They never, listen to me, they never thought it was coming, but it did. YouTubers, subscribers, and non-subscribers alike, don't ever think this can't come to America. It's coming. It's coming. I'm going to drive up a stake right here just for a minute. Let me say something to some of you out there that say that I do this to be famous and this, that, and the other. I've already said, look, I'm nothing. I'm worse than the doormat you walk on when you go in your house. The only thing I desire out of this is that people wake up, we take our nation back, and that we don't be run over anymore, and we don't become like these verses I'm telling you that can take place. Now, it's just that simple in a nutshell, okay? And I know I shouldn't even acknowledge them idiots, but I try to give them, I just try to give them chance after chance, but the chance is about over. But anyway, it says they wandered as blind men in the streets, polluted themselves with blood, so that they could not even touch their garments. Passed laws for abortion over and over, you know, and it just goes on and on. Okay. All right. They cried out unto them, Depart. Ye it is unclean, depart, do not touch. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, They shall no more sojourn there. The anger of the Lord divided them. He who will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests. They favored not the elders anymore, because they have become so corrupt. The priests and the elders have become so corrupt, they favored them not anymore. See, if the priests and the elders would have warned them, then things would have been different. But they hadn't. As for us, our eyes yet failed, and for our vain help in our watching, we would have watched for a nation that cannot save us. All right, check this out, verse 18, y'all. Listen to this. They hunt our steps that we cannot go even in our streets. They hunt our steps that we can't even go out on the street. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than eagles in the heaven. They even pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. Now, I got news for you. That's a sobering thought to have of what could come to America. Because like I said earlier, and this has biblical aspects to it, I hope some of you hadn't turned it off, but if they have, I can't help it. That's just it. All I can do is put it out there. I can't make nobody believe it. Sobering thing about this whole scripture that I read is that this can happen to America. Because God's the same God He was in the beginning. He don't change. It's just man that's tried to change Him. But in any event, just a few sobering thoughts to think of, and such as pining away. You're better off to die by the sword than you are starvation. And can't even go out into the streets because of the martial law back then. They couldn't even. They couldn't do it. They were hunted down like dogs, and doors kicked in and killed back then, just like it will come today in this realm we're living in. Listen to the end time watchman. All I'm trying to do is warn you. And go back and look at Ezekiel 33. All I'm doing is sounding the trumpet and warning the people. If they take action to prepare themselves for what's coming, then they're spared. And if they don't, then their end is not. It's not my problem. It's the end time watchman. He's getting into a lot of stuff, but I had to bring that out. I've been sort of hesitant to do it, but I think it's well fits today. So this is the end time watchman. I pray that peace and tranquility come upon your hearts. And I pray that no matter what, you wouldn't bow down to this devilish, demonic New World Order. And know those that are among you and labor with you. And make sure they're of you and not your enemy. I'll be back, end time watchman.